So we're live. This is the Daytripper Photo Show, episode number 163. We've done a few of these now. Phil, how many have you been on?
Probably like 10, maybe.
Quite a few already.
It's 8 to 10, I'd say.
Well, thank you for being here tonight. Gabriel's
having me.
not on tonight, so it's even better that you're here, because if it was just me, this would be very awkward. Okay, so a little one-sided. So the way this is going to work, if you're watching right now, there's only two of us on the show tonight, myself and Phil, and Gabe's not on. So you're not going to see everybody at the bottom of the screen. Usually you'll see the little windows at the bottom. Not going to see that. So whoever's talking, you're going to hear, unless I lock it on them, and then you're going to see them for a while. So that actually gives you permission to make funny faces in the camera when I'm talking, Phil, because nobody would see.
There we go. Perfect. Spaceballs. We'll be talking. You'll be talking. All of a sudden, I'll be like, man. Nothing's happening when it switches to me.
I love Spaceballs. What a great movie.
It turns out they're actually making a Spaceballs too.
I know. The search for more money. Brilliant. Actually, I named my camera from the movie Spaceballs, the Schwartz. That's what I named my camera. Okay, so let's get into the show a little bit. First of all, I just want to remind everybody who's watching that because Gabriel's not here, unfortunately, that means that Vegas has kicked his ass. So
I think so.
What can you do? Gabe got his ass kicked by Vegas. Couldn't make it back on the show.
He'll be back next week, though.
Hopefully. No, actually, he just has some jet lag. So if he's watching tonight, that might be fun too.
You can comment and add his 2 cents or quarters, or with the exchange rate, 2 cents is probably more like 15. So he's probably actually doing pretty okay.
In a roundabout kind of way. Yeah. Brilliant logic. If Sanyo invented that, it would be called fuzzy logic. Boom, boom.
Oh.
Okay, so we're going to talk quickly about something that's really cool. Our friend Navi Noom, who might even be watching right now as she's driving home from her teaching job. This is why she's not on the show tonight anymore, by the way, because she's teaching for college, and she's teaching photography, and it's so cool. Just so awesome. Anyway, I squirrel very easily. This is the banter show, right? So we're allowed to squirrel a little bit.
Oh, absolutely.
So Navi has this wedding photography business, as everybody knows, and she's freaking brilliant. She has a wedding promo right now where she's actually giving away a full wedding package. Now, this package is worth $4,000+ I believe.
Somewhere around there.
Yeah, I'm going to pull this up here in just a second, do a screen share. $3,400 wedding package is what she is giving away. So it's very easy to win this package. And if you want to qualify for this, there's a couple things you got to do. First of all, follow Navi on Instagram. That's at Navi Noom Photography. And also, if you repost the image that I'm sharing right here, which you probably can't do because you're watching it on a video, but if you go to the Daytripper community, you will see this link pinned to the page, pinned to the top of the website, and you'll be able to share it there. Also, it's very cool because if you send her an email to info@navinoom.com, that's NAVYNHUM.com, with your photo, and you share your love story, your wedding plans, include the date, location, and the event of any other exciting detail for the day, she can pick you to win this amazing package. So if anybody needs a good wedding photographer, if you know anybody who's getting married, if anything is going on in your life where people may need a brilliant wedding photographer, search this out. Go to Instagram, search out Navi Noom, and be a part of this, because this is a pretty awesome deal. I mean, this is...
Yeah,
what are you gonna say?
Super good, and I might be slightly biased, but I think she does an awesome job.
Well, she was your wedding photographer, and you're a photographer, so you're not going to pick some schmo to do your own wedding.
No, it took a lot of thinking and a lot of kind of deliberation to try and figure out who we wanted to have do it. But she was, I think, one of the earliest contenders and one of the last contenders, I'd say, as she was the one who actually ended up shooting it. But fantastic job, and I've been shooting with a bunch of different wedding photographers, and I have to say, on the day of, she's relaxing to the point where you're going to be doing things, you're going to be going and taking pictures, but she'll make it as comfortable and as fun as she can make it, and that's a huge thing, because I've gone shooting with a couple wedding photographers, which it's not really fun. It's more of a chore for people, and you can tell that maybe the bride and groom aren't fully into it because they just, I don't know. It's a little hard to explain, but it's a lot of fun, and that's the important part.
Well, that's it. I mean, this is supposed to be your most important day of your life. So you want somebody who's actually going to understand that and get it and do a good job. And Navi's phenomenal. She's been doing it for so long. She's so young and she's been doing it for so long. So anyway, guys, seriously, look into this. Check it out on Instagram. It's the Navi Noom wedding photography giveaway. And even better than that, Phil, you knew we talked about this a little bit last week, but maybe the week before, I don't know, when Gabriel was on our show. So it must have been the week before that. But we were talking how either Gabriel or Navi, if you register for the Daytripper Photo wedding photography class, which is on May 29th, this is at the Gibson Center in Alliston, a beautiful venue. I mean, this place is just so great. And it's going to be warm because last time we did one of these sessions, it was the coldest day of the year. But this is going to be beautiful, warm. We're going to get to be indoor shooting and outdoor shooting with really nice wood interior. They had just stained it when we were there. And it was just like I was back in Vermont. Wood smell everywhere. It's so cool. But either Navi or Gabriel will be your second shooter. If you register for this session, there's a contest that one person from the session will have Navi or Gabriel second shoot for them on the wedding of their choice if they get hired to do a wedding job.
Which is awesome.
If you want to be a wedding photographer, you can take this session. It's only $500 and it's a full 10-hour day with lunch and this amazing venue and Navi and Gabriel instructing. And I just can't wait. It's going to be great. So check that out too. That's at daytripperphoto.com. And that's, as I say, May 29th. We're going to be holding that session. Okay, so let's get into some of the part of the show that we actually banter, because we haven't done any of that already.
No scrolling or anything.
I know, no scrolling. Of course, this is the part of the show where we remind everybody to check out the survey, which we have at daytripperphoto.com. It's buried down a little bit because it's not pinned anymore, but just go to the search within Daytripper Photo Community, type in survey on the search, and it'll pop right up. Very easy to find when you use that search feature. And also join the community on Google+. It's so valuable. It gives so many people a benefit, and it just taps you into this great community of photographers that can pretty much answer any question you have. And of course, you find out all the advanced notice about our day trips that we run, so you can get some hands-on class time in there. As we say, this is our classroom. Everywhere we teach is our classroom, which is cool. And also, if you're watching this on YouTube, like the video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, tell the world that you're watching our show, because we love doing it, and the more people that watch, the more important it is for us to do. So keep on watching the show, subscribe to our channel, and click like. And if you're watching this live, a couple people, Andrew and Robert, both of you are watching the show right now. Thank you both for watching. Good evening to you, Andrew, and to our good friend Robert. Glad you're watching tonight. Glad you're feeling better. He had taking care of some health issues, and he's kicking butt. So good for you, Robert. Good for you. Thank you for watching. And also thank you for the cats that you brought me back from Argentina. I'm going to thank you officially. These two little hand-carved cats from the Indians that live in Argentina. Super cool. All right, so let's see what else we got going on. Oh, Phil.
Yep.
What's new about me? What's new about you? Yeah.
I don't know. I turning your head funny.
Yeah, I'm turning my head funny.
You got a hat.
I got these cool things right here.
You got some new cans.
Yeah, I got new cans. I did. Actually, Daytripper Photo got new cans, and they're awesome. You should check them out. That sounds awkward. Sennheiser is now an official sponsor of Daytripper Photo. So that is so cool. I got these awesome HD 280 headphones. Now these are studio monitor style headphones. They actually dampen the sound. They don't have like an active noise canceling system, but because of the way they fit, they cut out about 30 dB of sound. Oh, wow. So it just kind of really isolates you. So I don't hear, Dixie outside or any of that kind of stuff. Although she's cute, and I'll see her if she comes in the room. But yeah, they sound great. I've been listening to them walking to work every day for the past week or so. The audio quality on these things, it's like 5 to, what's the frequency response? I used to be an audio guy, so headphones are a big deal to me. And these things are 8 to 25,000 hertz frequency response. So they go deeper than I can hear and higher than I can hear. And people wonder, why do you need that? Like, what's the point of having frequency response broader than what we can hear? Well, I always equate that to, like, for example, Phil, if you can lift 1,000,000 pounds and I gave you 500 pounds, it would feel like nothing, right?
Exactly.
If a headphone can go down to 8, imagine how clean that 25, 30 hertz that we really can start to hear sounds. It's just more controlled. So excellent sound on these things. And this isn't their high end. I mean, these are 120 bucks a pair. We're going to get into a few more of the products that Sennheiser has. This is our banter show, so we've got some product information. And Henry's is a dealer for Sennheiser, so all of the stuff we talk about, you can get right away. I mean, this isn't super expensive stuff, and it's pretty cool. So thank you, Sennheiser, for being involved in Daytripper Photo. And hopefully, shortly, we will have some swag to give away for our photo contests and things like that. I've talked to my guy. I don't want to give his name away because everybody will be emailing him. That would just be awkward for him. Hey, give me stuff, man. No, not going to work that way. But we're going to have hats, T-shirts, some lanyards, and possibly other stuff. And there will be something in possibly something to do with the wedding session involved as well. So
exciting.
Thank you, Sennheiser. Very cool. What are you going to say?
I was going to I'm going to save that down because we're going to talk a bit more about headphones in a minute, but I'll save it for that.
Perfect. Cool. Sounds good.
Squirrel.
Don Hennessy's watching. Hello, Don. Thanks for watching, buddy. And Tom. Tom is watching. Hang on a second. My screen has to be bigger. Oh, Tom is watching. Good evening. Good evening to you, Tom. That's awesome. Thank you, everybody, for watching tonight. And remember, join in the Q&A. When we talk about something here on the show, if you have something to add, if you want to put in 2 cents, or as Phil says, a nickel or a quarter, do that, because it helps the show. And there's a lot of really neat stuff. And let's get right to it. So first of all, new products. Now, the big photo shows are over. All the manufacturers have shown their goods to the world. And this is when we're going to start realizing how cool the new crop of cameras and products are. We've already heard about the 1D X Mark II. I've got tons of orders for those. I've already heard about the Nikon D500 and D5s. I've got tons of orders for those. Those things are flying when they're not even in the stores yet.
2 million ISO, 3 million ISO, some ridiculous value.
It's just sick. It's just sick what technology has come to. Within the 10 years I've been selling cameras. Unreal.
Well, the fact that we've gone from this 50 ISO Ilford Pan F film, which has been around for quite some time and expired last year.
It's a new roll.
To 3-something million ISO. It's ridiculous. That is many, many, many times of hundreds of thousands more powerful.
And I guarantee you people will still complain. But
Absolutely.
anyway.
It'll be too noisy. It won't be powerful enough. They won't be able to take pictures of airplanes flying inside the hangar. If you wait long enough, it gets super bright for a very short period of time.
Yeah, right. What I'm most excited about, though, and I know this is sounding funny because I'm a Nikon guy, I'm really, really excited about the Pentax K1. Like, really excited. This is the first Pentax full-frame DSLR, and it is looking pretty awesome. It's a 36 megapixel, 36.4 megapixel anti-alias filter-less CMOS sensor. So it has no anti-aliasing filter. So hopefully it'll be very sharp and very, very defined. It's got a great focusing system. It's got a lot of really cool things. But you know what? This camera actually makes better photos. And I know this is sounding stupid here because everybody knows
the camera. It's the photographer.
Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. And I'm going to stick to that. But this thing has the 5-axis in-camera shake reduction.
Okay.
We're going to be able to hand hold a long exposure. 5-axis in-camera shake reduction.
Right, front back.
Something like that.
Or back in time.
Yeah, that's awesome. But anyway, it's weather resistant. So you can pee on it.
I would recommend it, but
I've never tried it.
Only with the demo in the Henry store.
Oh, God. No, there's only been one person that's peed in the store on the floor, and that was a young 12-year-old boy that I told couldn't use the bathroom. That was not good.
Now,
I haven't said no since.
Kids say they have to. You probably should believe them.
Yep. And I will, and I do from now on. But anyway, that's old news. But this camera, you can even shoot it in an APS-C mode, which is a crop mode at 15 megapixels. I do recommend, if anybody's interested, if anybody has Pentax equipment already, check this out. I know Andrew is watching. Yeah, Pentax K1. In fact, last time I talked about this as an option, I even said this is the Andrew camera. But I'm not trying to tease you, Andrew, I swear. But no, Pentax is not for urinating upon, he says. True. No cameras for urinating upon. Don't do that. Okay, sorry. I just had an email from somebody.
Okay.
From an old friend who I'm going to send an invite to and see if this happens. So if this person happens to join, that would be pretty cool. So anyway, moving along. No, we're not going to urinate upon the Pentax. It's awesome. I was just being stupid because this is a banter show, and that's what I do. But this is actually a camera that has a lot of really cool features in it, which will help you make better photos. Built-in stabilization, very good focusing. Oh, look who's here.
There she is.
Yay.
Navi Noom herself has joined the show for the first time since she couldn't be on the show anymore because she's now teaching. What's up?
Hello. Oh, you know, driving this awesome weather, but you guys seem like you're having a good time, so I wanted to join.
Well, that's cool. Thank you.
It's always great, having you come on. Haven't seen you for a while.
How's it going, Phil?
Going good.
I like your recurrency jokes.
Thank you.
Okay, so we talked about Navi and her wedding contest. So, Navi, is there anything you wanted to add to that before we just moved along with the show?
No, I guess other than that, I'm wanting to hear everyone's story because obviously every couple has a different story, and whether you're having a small wedding or a big wedding, tell me about it. I just want to shoot and create and be a part of an amazing day, an amazing wedding, and get some great photos for somebody. So yeah, the contest ends in less than a week, so get on it.
Awesome. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that March 1st, I guess, is the last day, or when you're announcing the winner, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, good luck. Have you got a lot of entries already?
Yeah. So some people write novels, which is fine because the more detail, the better. But you can write a small paragraph, you can write 3 pages, whatever you want. Then I'm in.
Awesome. Well, I hope people do, because Phil and I are both sold on you. So hopefully more people will get it. And check it out again. Hey, no problem. NaviNoom.com. Check it out. Okay, so back to the products here. Pentax K1. Navi, are you sticking around? Or are you just chiming in saying hello?
No, I'll stick around. I'm going to be on the road here for another at least half hour, 40 minutes.
All right, cool. Awesome. All right, so if anybody has any questions for Navi during the show, please send them in the Q&A as well. But in the meantime, the Pentax K1 full frame, I'm super excited about it. Nav, would you be cool if I just muted you a little bit?
Sorry, say it again?
I'm just going to put you on mute because there's a lot of background noise.
Sure, yeah.
But you can unmute yourself. Be very careful doing that.
Yes.
I was just going over those rumbling strips. That's why it was very loud.
Stay on the road.
Yes.
I am on the road. Hands-free.
Okay, good. All right, so apparently my mute thing doesn't work. Oh, there we go.
Oh,
cool.
there we go. Okay.
That's awesome that Navi's on the show. Thank you.
That's great.
All right, so the Pentax K1, super cool, full frame for $2,500. I mean, when's the last time we've seen a full frame camera for that cheap? And it's a really good option, so check that out.
Yeah.
But there's a lot more stuff to talk about. Sorry, you have something to say?
I was gonna say, and like you were pointing out, that it's got a bunch of really interesting features to it, and like how the screen comes and tilts around, the ideas behind how to keep it more weather resistant. It seems like a really cool idea, and a lot of the Pentax system has been really, really interesting. Even from when they would give you a lithium-ion battery, but still let you run the cameras off of AA batteries, which I don't know if it's still a thing if they do, but it's just a lot of really clever ideas. And back when I was switching out from my old Olympus, original days, they were partly a contender. And then when I was going from Nikon to Canon, they were, again, partly a contender.
Yeah, if I wasn't a Nikon shooter, I would absolutely own Pentax stuff. Built like a tank.
Oh, yeah.
And they have a lot of lenses to choose from. In fact, the new full frame is coming out with a whole slew of lenses. And from what I understand, it's actually going to be more than what Sony already has on the table
Which is
for their
awesome.
mirrorless full frame. So, very cool. I hope to see a lot more from Pentax.
Do you think this is actually going to be a game changer for them, or is it too late?
Oh, I really hope so. Really hope so.
I agree as well. I really hope it's a game changer.
The too late comment's very valid, though, because, Pentax has been a player for a long time, and, at least in our store up in Newmarket, Henry's, there's nothing on the shelves.
Yeah. That's common.
Mm-hmm. Andrew, who is watching, who also owns a Pentax K3 Mark II, he says it does have the adapter for AA batteries, Phil, so they still do that.
Nice.
Very cool. Thanks, Andrew, for that. That's very cool.
Thank you.
But there's a lot more out there, and as much as I want to, talk about this Pentax for a long time, what I'd like to do is I'm going to reapproach my Pentax rep, because at one point he was going to come on as a guest, and something came up and he couldn't make it. So we're going to see if we can have him on the show. Maybe we could do a whole show just on their full frame camera and what this might mean to the company. I think that'd be pretty cool.
It'd be different. I'd like it.
So let's deal with that down the road. But let's move on a little bit. Nikon has announced a bunch of new point-and-shoot cameras. Now, I know we don't usually get into too much in the point-and-shoot talk, but they have a couple really cool cameras. It's called their new DL series. There's 3 different models, one that has an 18-50, one that has a 24-85, and one that has a 24-500 mil equivalent. So they have like a super zoom, they have a mid-range, and then they have their general-purpose wide angle, like a kit. These are 1-inch sensor, top quality. Like, I'm looking at the photos of these things, and they look like they're built really well. In fact, their high-end version reminds me a lot of the Panasonic FZ300, which you may know is pretty much my favorite point-and-shoot. Built today. They're beautiful quality, but this looks really, really nice. So I'm just going to do a quick screen share here and show. I know looks aren't everything. You got to try the camera and work with it, but the quality is obvious. They have great lenses. Nice bright apertures, good weather-resistant build quality, built-in Wi-Fi. They have that same Bluetooth feature that the D500 and D5 use, where you can literally just keep your phone synced up to it at any time. So all you got to do is turn your phone on and you're connected. Okay. You don't have to pair into the Wi-Fi. You don't have to sign in with a password. It's just pretty much like your car system when you get into the car and it just reads your music.
Much better idea.
Yeah, I don't have that because I have an old car, but that's okay. I've rented some cars that had it, and it was pretty cool. So now this, okay, Tom says this one's big, and I agree. This is their big camera.
Yeah.
That's why they also make the little guys. So if we were to check out, let's see another photo here. Here we go. This is one of them that has the 18-50 lens equivalent, and it's a 1.8 to a 2.8 aperture, so very bright glass. Excellent little compact camera, and then they have their mid-range option, which maybe there's a picture of somewhere. Here we go, 24-85.
Yep.
So they have all 3 different options, and you can pick and choose what you like. Now, I don't know pricing yet. I'm just excited to see that Nikon is reinvesting in a quality compact. A while back, they had that Q or whatever that one. Is that what you're just gonna? You're smiling.
I was gonna say I'm actually really happy to see this type of point and shoot, because for the last couple years it looks like the point and shoot market has been getting beat on quite badly by every single phone made, and the need for a point and shoot has seemed to get less and less useful. And so it's nice to see that we've had that shift. Like on the Canon side of things, we've had the G series for a long time, and then on the Panasonic side, we had technically the Leica series for a while, and then the FZ series. And it's nice to see Nikon coming back with something that is good and a solid-looking camera, like weather-resistant, as you were saying, big lenses, tons of light through it. So people that want to get the results that you would maybe normally get out of a DSLR can get that out of a point-and-shoot with a little bit maybe more ease of use.
I couldn't see, but are there any viewfinders in any of the models?
Yes, there are, but not on all of them. Only on the larger one, I believe.
It looks like it.
Yeah, I'm going to go back and check out those photos. I already went to the next thing.
That's okay. I'll go back and take a look.
All right, cool. It looks to me like it's only on their larger version, which has, to me, probably the same viewfinder that the FZ200 or 300 has.
Yeah.
So.
Now, it does also look like at least the middle of the road one, where the hot shoe is, it looks like it's a smart hot shoe. So actually, it looks like all 3 of them, or the 2 of them, I should say. The smart hot shoe can have a viewfinder.
Cool. So it's got a little EVF port.
Yeah. So at least the middle of the road one will have a viewfinder as well.
There'll be a plug-in attachment, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's pretty cool. And they've also come out with a whole bunch of new general-purpose point-and-shoots, like just kind of the little ones that you'd normally see, super compacts, like this 35 times optical zoom little beefcake that they have right here. Boink. So they came out with a whole new trio of compact point-and-shoots. Now, what I'm impressed with is their BSI sensor, which means backside illuminated, which means a larger surface area for more pixels or bigger pixels. They've thought of a lot of things, putting that snap bridge feature in there so you can connect it with the Wi-Fi into your phone. And two of these actually shoot 4K, so they're very high-end two options. So this guy here, I believe, and this guy here also shoot 4K video. Now, we were talking before 4K. What do you think of this? Okay, you're smiling again.
I don't like 4K. I think it's dumb.
Talk to me, guys.
Talk about like the Super Bowl. People were buying big screen 4K TVs to watch the Super Bowl, and it would barely be broadcasted in a high definition quality. If you're lucky, you're going to get a 1080 interlace. Probably not progressive. Most likely not progressive. So it's, 4K is a great idea, but just like 3D, you need to have the back-end environment to handle it. And majority of the monitors on the market that you're going to get with a computer that are going to be attached to your computer in the case of a laptop, they're not going to be 4K. They're going to display great resolutions, but they're not going to be that high of a resolution. And so 4K I think is a great idea, but it's also a bit more of a kind of like a pipe dream, kind of like how 3D was.
I think a lot of it is marketing.
Exactly. Very clever marketing.
Right. Everybody wants to get the next big thing, so 4K is that next big thing. Where are we going to get all that bandwidth for 4K, Tom asks. That's a good question.
Problem. And the size component, like 4K video is significantly larger, almost, 2 and a bit times larger than what you'd get out of a standard high-definition video, like a 1080 video. So you're running into now more space required on the card, more write speed required. You need faster processors. Faster processors require more battery power in some cases. So it's a good idea in theory, but we don't have the back-end support for it yet.
Well, it's a lot like when standard HD came in, and everybody was like, "Oh, you got to buy HD." You guys got to remember, I was selling audio video since 1990, so we're talking, regular VHS, which is 270 lines of resolution, to SVHS, which was 400 lines of resolution. Yeah. Then they went to DVD. Oh my God, DVD! Remember when DVD first came out? Oh my, it was fantastic. Everybody had to spend $1,000 on their DVD player so that they could enjoy nothing because there was no content for the first year or two. Yeah. And then all of a sudden everything boomed and DVD went huge. Everybody spent thousands and thousands of dollars, and now who still uses DVD?
Sometimes.
Yeah, well, not that much.
It's easier to go online and watch it on Netflix or on a streaming service where you get it in the same quality that you would get it elsewhere. And I'm sure there's compression issues and there's artifacting involved, but your average person, myself included, isn't really going to notice a difference. Or if I do notice a difference, 5 minutes into whatever it is, I'm more interested in the story than what's actually compressed on my picture.
I agree, 100%. Absolutely. Like I've been watching Arrow and Flash on this up above me here. So I'm perfectly happy just being involved in the story. And then, anyway, that's just me. I mean, there's a lot of audio files. There's a lot of folks out there who will appreciate it. And, just like HD video, it wasn't standardized. There's all these different megahertz per second and frame rates and all these different things.
Laserdisc.
No, to get the most. Laserdisc. Oh, my God. That was awesome. But, yeah. Still a lot to go with 4K. And I guarantee you in 2 years everything will have it.
Yep. And I do agree with Tom that it will make a big difference when we get larger screens. Because until we have the surface area to display the difference in resolution, then you won't really notice it. Like if you're looking at it on your average 50-inch TV or your average computer monitor that's going to be maybe 13 to 18 inches, you're probably not going to see it.
No,
I do agree. When you get up into full high-definition, big screens where it's easier to see that difference and harder to fool our eyes, then you're going to notice it.
And I really like his newer comment here. Our eyes adjust better than our ears. Better to have great sound than great video. I totally agree with that. I love good sound.
Absolutely.
So I like Sennheiser headphones.
Yeah.
See what I did there?
They definitely beat the little Apple earbuds that I have plugged in right now.
I know.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'll get to headphones in a second. We have, I think, one more interesting Ricoh Pentax product.
I was just about to go there, too, and then I remembered there was still that one last thing. Okay, so we've talked about the Ricoh Theta.
Yep.
Gabriel bought one.
Not terribly well-received 360-degree video camera.
No, that's the thing. I love it. I want one.
Okay.
I really want one. It's only $450 and it does full 360-degree video. The problem is when you're using it for professional purposes, like Gabriel wanted to use it for weddings, where you'd set it up on the minister's pedestal, and then as a 360 viewer, for like person who's hired Gabe to shoot a wedding, you're able to just kind of scroll around and see the people behind you, and see the bride, and see the groom, and see the minister, and see everything just by swiping with your finger. As a viewer, that would be super cool, but the problem is it's 1080 HD. It's not high enough resolution. I mean, 1080 in this space is really nice, but if you take that and stretch it out and wrap it all around you, it just didn't have the same kind of clarity. So as a professional purpose, it's probably not recommended. But as a consumer level thing, I mean, I'd love that for my day trips. I think that would be phenomenal.
Yeah, it could be kind of cool.
So I have Bose 25. One big one is enough. That's what Tom says. The Bose, is that the Acoustamass 25? Because I remember I used to sell those. They were very nice systems. Sorry, going to the Q&A for that. Just keep talking to us, guys. Doesn't have to be just Tom. Lots of people. If you have anything to add to our conversation, go for it. But this is what we're talking about next. The Ricoh came out with their WGM2. This is their new rugged action cam. It's kind of like what I'm thinking, like what they're thinking of GoPro, but it's totally different. So check it out. This is the 4K, since we're talking about it. It's got 4K. It's got a 204-degree viewing angle. So it's wider viewing angle than a GoPro. So I think you could see back in time with this
I think so.
But it's kind of neat because the way they show it here, you can put a little pistol grip handle on the bottom of it, which would also imply you can put a selfie stick attached to it. So it's very cool stuff.
I like that it has an actual screen.
Yeah, just on the top, right?
Yeah.
So they don't really show it too clearly as a separate photo, but that's, I think, what you're talking about just right up here.
Yeah. Now, I don't know how complex that screen is. I don't know if it's full color or just a standard, like, black-white readout, but it'd be curious to know.
1.5-inch color LCD offers live view of recording as well as playback.
Which is awesome, instead of hoping for the best.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's also why I like the Sony unit, because the Sony you actually wear a little wrist remote, and you can monitor as we go, like we had when we shot the movie, Phil.
Yep.
Very cool stuff on the market, and I really encourage folks that love technology to go and check this stuff out. I mean, there's some really cool products that are being released right now, and a lot of this is available at Henry's. I love if you were to come talk to me about that, but there's a million and one places to get this kind of equipment, and there's some really cool stuff. Now, speaking of really cool stuff, crazy cool stuff from Sigma. Now, you guys all know Sigma sponsors the show as well. They sponsor Daytripper. On our day trips, we have briefcases full of lenses that we bring on most of our intense day trips, not the Fire on Ice this Sunday, because who wants to bring a bunch of briefcases outside and leave them outside in the snow? That's not cool. But
there is snow. Last time I checked, it was going to be like 6 degrees.
Oh, 6 degrees for Sunday?
Yeah.
Oh.
But
wow.
Snow up until then. So it could be like shorts and t-shirt weather with snow on the ground, which would be exciting.
Yeah, sure. But the Sigma stuff that's coming out right now. All right, so first of all, here, let me share this. Why not? There we go. So they're announcing a 30mm f1.4 for E-mount and for Micro Four Thirds. So those with Panasonic or Olympus or the Sony E-mount, which was formerly known as the NEX series, they're making a new 30mm f1.4, which is pretty cool. They're also making an 85mm. Let's see if I can find this. I don't want to give that one away. Well, I just did. They're also making an 85. Oh no, that's Tamron is making that. So I'm going to get to that in a second because there's more Tamron stuff. I don't want to confuse the world. This is the cool one right here. A 50 to 100mm DC lens made for crop sensor camera, f1.8.
Nice.
Come on, Phil. Do a dance.
I like that.
Say something.
50. I think it would be an awesome setup, especially because you would get into kind of like a zoom portrait lens almost, which is really cool.
On a crop sensor, this would be about a 75 to 150mm, 1.8. That's like a perfect hockey lens. A 1.8 aperture shooting in low light, or shooting in a club, or shooting portraits like you're saying with super shallow depth of field, or even just the ability to shoot at f2.8 and not be shooting wide open.
Yeah.
little bit better sharpness from it, right? This is their new Art Series lens, and if it's anything like the 18 to 35 f1.8, which I've used quite a bit to shoot wrestling and other things, I'm super excited about this, and I really hope this is going to be in some of our kits as soon as they're available for our day trips, because for the Birds of Prey session, for all the indoor low light action stuff, for all the, you know, hockey and everything, this would just be such a great lens to work with. Can't wait to try it. So there's that. Very cool. And pardon me?
I mean, what's the price?
What's the price? I don't know what the price is going to be on that yet, Nav. Oh, wait a second. Does it say here? Does it say? It doesn't say. I don't know. But when I do know, I will tell the world.
There we go.
How about that? Okay. But there was something that I kind of let slip a little bit, and that's the new Tamron lens. They have a couple really cool things coming out, including a USB hub.
Which is really awesome, because Sigma's had that for a little bit. And it's great if you want to get into changing the focus of your lens, updating firmware of your lens. So it's an awesome thing that they're starting to actually, you know, maybe not include, but sell.
Yeah, and it's different though. It's a tap console.
Okay.
So it's not like a USB you've got to plug in. You just tap.
Okay.
And it does all the updating for you. Yeah, tap in utility software, perform lens and
We'll worry about the technology afterwards.
Yeah, we'll worry about the technology. Bottom line, the concept is pretty cool. Finally, you've got a company like Tamron who is, you know, seeing what Sigma's doing and how Sigma's owning that market right now, and they're coming out with pretty comparable stuff, including now this is what I want to talk about, a new line of lenses with their vibration control. So imagine this, Phil. If your name is Phil, I don't know why I say that. But imagine this, 85 millimeter f1.8 vibration control.
Ooh.
So it's a stabilized f1.8 mil. And they're also coming out with a new 90 millimeter macro, which is a 1-to-1 ratio, obviously true macro, with vibration control. So these look like really nice lenses, and I'm pretty stoked to try them out.
Yeah. Because image stabilization, sorry.
Fill up past his
image, like image stabilization, vibration control. It's kind of nice in a macro, especially when you get into trying to do handheld stuff. You don't want to have a tripod. You're going to take one shot, maybe not worry too much about focus stacking. It's super helpful.
Mm-hmm. And if you're talking about using like an 85 millimeter 1.8 as a concert lens or a portrait lens, and you're not in studio environment and you're not working, you know, wide open or whatever, it's got 3.5 stops of stabilization built in.
Which is awesome.
It's pretty cool. So that's neat stuff. Let's go to the Q&A for a quick second here. Andrew says, wonder if we can get Rico to throw it in with a K1. That means Andrew's buying a K1. Yeah, look at that.
If you can get Brian to put the two boxes beside each other and run fast enough, maybe.
Daytripper Photo has nothing to do with that comment. It's our disclaimer. And Robert says, look at that forecast again, Phil.
To be fair, I was looking at Pickering.
Oh, Pickering. That's by the nuclear
to me earlier. Exactly. So everything's warmer here.
Everything's warmer in Pickering.
Nice warm glow of radiation.
That's funny. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the other product. But I do want to talk a little bit about the Sennheiser stuff that's going on. The reason for this is because, okay, first of all, I'm not going to want sponsorship from something I'm not going to use.
Yeah.
That's just me. That's how I roll. I've heard a lot of people say, you know, take sponsorship from anybody you can get it from. I'm not too interested in that. I've had a few opportunities to work with other groups, and, you know, if I don't believe in the product, I can't talk about it. I can't be confident talking about it. So when I approached Sennheiser, and he seemed amicable, not Sennheiser, a person, but the company, my rep for them, seemed amicable about doing this, I got so excited. And we've been kind of holding this under our hats for a little while now. So the fact that now it's official, I've got the gear to show, and I know that there's going to be some cool stuff coming and swag and so on. I just thought I'd quickly go over some of the things that they offer. One thing that you got to realize is upcoming, and I believe it's March 30th, the gentleman who is our rep is going to be on the show.
Nice.
We're doing a show series called Sound and Vision, and for the sound part of it, Justin from Sennheiser is going to be our guest on the show. So I'm super psyched about that. March 30th, the first part of our Sound and Vision series. We're going to talk about how important sound is to our world as photographers or videographers, and we're going to get a lot more in-depth on their products. But I went through today, and I was just checking out some of the stuff that Henry's carries from them, and I realized it's a pretty good selection of gear. Now, I'm using not their cheapest product. I'm using their one that's $120. You know, these are not expensive headphones. But they do have really decent headphones, the HD 203 for like $45. Similar in concept, you know, the closed ear design, they still give you that. I think it's 32 dB of passive attenuation, so it's like noise canceling, but it's not active using power and so on. And they have, you know, a lot of different other products. This is the one in the middle. Then they have the HD 380, which is like $200. Essentially, what that's giving you is a little bit deeper bass, a little bit higher highs, basic same design. And then they have even the MM550s. Now these are about $600. Bluetooth, stereo. They've got the noise guard, which is active noise canceling. So when you turn these suckers on, you are in your own little world, and which is perfect for studio monitoring because you don't have outside influences. You're only hearing what has been recorded, what's on the track, which is really important. And they also have SRS wow sound. So if you're literally just kind of listening to your Walkman or listening to music, you get enhanced bass, you get some better highs. SRS wow sound is something that I remember from my audio days. It really does give quite a boost. Pretty cool stuff. What are you laughing about?
Oh, just back in the day.
I know, right? I'm so old.
But I had an older pair of Sennheiser headphones quite some time ago. I got them when I started attempting being the keyword, to try and do some video stuff. And the difference in trying to edit like the sound for a video without headphones and with headphones is massive. And I know some people that don't like the idea of editing sound for video with noise canceling headphones. They say that it muddles it a little bit. I'm not sure how that works. However, if you have like over-the-ear headphones that fully surround your ear, like the ones you're currently using, they have the benefit of getting rid of the extra stuff, and that means that the things that you want to hear, you hear more clearly and have an easier time editing too.
Yeah, and I'm making all kinds of noise now because I'm grabbing the other headphones that I've always worn on the show. These are a set of Sony noise-canceling headphones. And the way you explain the muddling of the sound makes sense, because when I'm wearing these things, as soon as I turn them on, everything kind of goes, and you almost can hear a little bit of a hiss, right? The difference is in how they're doing it, and this is what they call their, where did I write this down? Their Noise Guard 2.0 active noise reduction. So essentially, it's giving you the clarity, it's giving you the noise canceling, but it's also not giving you that muddly kind of sound.
Okay.
Now, I haven't heard them, and as far as I'm concerned, nothing's real unless I've heard it and tried it. Same as the D500. It may be the best camera in the world, but until I've used it shooting hockey, I'm not even thinking about buying it. You know what I'm saying? But I'd love to try these headphones. So maybe if I get an opportunity, I'll go to a Sennheiser dealer, give a test run on these things, or maybe I'll bring them into the store and try them out. But very cool stuff. But what Sennheiser's really known for are their microphones.
And possibly that might have a higher use for some of the people that we have here, as a lot of people are starting to get into shooting video. The cameras that they use can shoot fantastic quality video. You don't have to have a really expensive camera to shoot a really good quality video. But the issue we have with all of the DSLRs is the microphone's attached to the body, which means, since sound is basically vibration, anytime you touch the camera, that turns out to show up in your actual video. So if you're trying to record a video and you're moving the camera, or hopefully you're adjusting a setting, you're going to hear that in a video, and it's
sounds a lot like
terrible.
This. I don't know if you can hear this, but I'm playing with my microphone.
That rumbling sound of
and
it's not supposed to be there, but because the microphone's attached to what you're holding on to, and because the microphones are rather terrible, they show up massively. And so having an external mic can be a fantastic thing if you get into shooting video.
It's funny, Tom says here, amazing thing happened. He had the Sennheiser MM100 headphones, nice small ones, he says, and lost the power supply, the USB. Apparently, the D750 uses the exact same USB, so win-win. Nikon and Sennheiser, it's like meant to be.
There we go. Also compatible with Canon.
There you go. Tom did also mention something else, which I will get to. I don't want you to think that we are ignoring your last comment, but we're just going to continue on the track that we're on right now, and then we'll get to that in just a second. But yeah, as far as microphones go, I've been using Sennheiser stuff for a while. Ross, a colleague of mine, you all know Ross Chevalier, the photovideoguy.ca. He uses the Sennheiser Lav Kit, and I used that when I shot some TV stuff with him. In fact, when we were on Rogers, they used the same Sennheiser stuff, really good labs and so on. There's so many different products that they make that are used professionally, and most of this is stuff that you can just buy in store. So, for example, the Sennheiser MKE 400, which is a little hot shoe mount shotgun microphone. It's one of the smallest shotgun microphones made, and it sounds awesome. I've used this thing to shoot wrestling in the past. I've done interviews with the wrestlers. It's tiny. It's like $270, and now you can buy it in a kit with the foam cover for it and the XLR adapter. So you can actually use it as a balanced microphone if you want to, which is very cool. Balance just means there's no hiss, there's no clicks and pops. Sounds better. And also they make that actual really good quality lav kit, which I'm talking about. So paying about $680, and you get the EW12P, the G3 lav kit, which is essentially transmitter, lavalier microphone, and phenomenal sound receiver, which you would plug into your audio mixer or to your camera or whatever. And you know, they just make some great stuff. The lav replacements are only $100. I mean, what you're really paying for is the transmitter system, right? Yeah. Good equipment. Thank you, Sennheiser, for being involved in us. If anybody's interested in good audio equipment for, you know, whatever they need their video stuff, audio needs for, it's worth looking into. Sennheiser, check it out. To talk about Tom's point, he says, unfortunately, you'll also pay for it. He's talking about the Nikon DL cameras, which we talked about a few minutes ago. The DL cameras, the 2485, 1850, 24500, you're looking at $650, $850, and $1,000. And he's absolutely right. This puts them in line with the RX100 Sony series, which are also extremely awesome point-and-shoot cameras. I believe Gabriel was using the RX100 his entire Vegas vacation. And awesome. I think Navi, you wanted to buy this thing from him, didn't you? If you can unmute yourself, and if you're still... Yeah, here you go.
I also assume that it has survived Vegas, so I don't know. I haven't seen the condition of it. I might have to retract that bid.
That's such a valid point, because the last time he went there with some electronic gear, yeah, it didn't quite fare so well, and poor Bob is still unhappy. I don't even know where Bob is anymore.
Uh-oh.
But yeah, I know. But anyway, yeah, it is very comparable to the RX100 stuff. Big sensor, great lenses, a lot of great detail and clarity. And you know what, Tom? When they come in and I get to give them a shot, I will let you know what we think of them, because I want Nikon to do well. It's just, yeah, so far I've not been a huge Nikon point-and-shoot fan. That's all.
And I will admit that they went through a period where they were not the best as far as quality went. And I would like to think that they've come out of that and are continuing towards making a product that is at least as good as their, you know, DSLR series.
I agree. Okay, now on to the news of the day.
The news! Like Top Gear. Well, old Top Gear. Old new Top Gear. New old Top Gear?
So who's the Stig?
However it works.
Does that make Navi the Stig because she's driving right now?
Yes.
Yes. Very cool.
Absolutely does. Some say.
Oh, she unmuted. Every time she unmutes, I want to wait to hear what she has to say. All right. Okay, so here's the news, and I got to apologize to all the people that don't like offensive language, but there are some pretty stupid people out there. I'm going to talk about these shipwreck asshats. It's so disappointing. There's some people down in California who posted on Instagram pictures of them doing steel wool on an old iconic shipwreck. Now, this is an old wooden ship. I'm going to screen share this because this is actually pretty sad. You all know that we do Burning Steel Wool. In fact, this Sunday night we have the Burning Steel Wool spin-off, where we literally have 6 people who are going to be competing to be the best spinner to win $100 in cash. And I believe there's currently 12 people who are going to be photographing all this. Nice. So it's a big event, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And there's still space to shoot. We take up to 15, possibly even 20 people to shoot. But as far as spinners go, we're capped off. No more spinners needed. Thank you all very much. But it's going to be so much fun. The the difference is we're in Canada, Phil.
Yes.
Like, we're not down in California.
Everything's frozen and cold.
Everything's frozen cold. There's moisture on the ground. We are extremely safe doing this. Even if we do this in the summertime, we prefer to do it after a rainfall. And if it hasn't rained in a little while, either we cancel the session and postpone it, or stick around a good long time after we're done to make sure everything is extinguished and so on. Because this is literally burning shards of metal flying through the air and landing on grass and whatever. I mean, the stuff is fire. It's literally molten fire. So these guys down in California thought it would be a great idea to get some cool photos on this old boat. Iconic shipwreck fishing boat in Point Reyes, California. It was severely damaged by fire. It may have been caused, and I gotta say that. I'm not gonna I'm gonna tell the world these guys are guilty, but apparently this is what's happening, because the next day the ship looked like this. All burned out.
Which is, a little odd.
Not good in any way, shape, or form. So, come on, people. If you're going to be shooting burning steel wool and having fun with all of this kind of stuff, you have to be safe. And this applies to anything. We've talked a lot about urban exploration. We've done some stupid stuff, Phil.
Yep.
But we've learned from doing stupid stuff, and we don't do stupid stuff anymore. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I look out for air conditioners.
Yeah. that's about the most damage I think we've done to any of us or any environment. Phil ran headfirst into a air conditioning unit on the backside of a portable. Yeah, I'm gonna have to pull up that photo now just to show people.
If you don't have it, it's okay.
Well, the thing is, I labeled it Phil Bang, so it's actually very easy to find. If you don't want me to show it, I don't have to. But
no, it's good. I'm just
all right, cool. So here's Phil Bang. This was not planned. This is just, there you go. This is what happens when you're running away from security in an abandoned military base, and you run headfirst into an air conditioning unit on the side of a...
Or potentially a pickup truck. One or the
other. Oh, man. Yeah, we didn't really know if it was security, but it was something. And we ran, and it was fun.
Yeah.
Yes, we do, but in a safer way, Robert says. We still do crazy things, but in a safer way. And yeah, when he read it, he thought the same as me. When you see this, I mean, you're in California, people. It's dry in California. There's drought in California. The last thing you want to do is light burning steel wool off in a wood boat.
Yep.
All right, so that's my rant on that. If anybody has anything to say, please mention it in the Q&A. And, well, if not, we'll see you on Sunday night at the Daytripper Photo, the steel wool burn-off or spin-off, whatever we're calling it. Can't wait. I love the steel wool stuff.
It always produces really cool pictures.
It does, and I've got some folks who are telling me the devices that they've made for this stuff. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Can't wait. Okay, next line of discussion. Now, this is something that you had quite an opinion on.
Well, and very uneducated opinion. I'm going to be honest about that one.
All right. Well, it's good that you can admit that, because...
I absolutely admit it.
Apparently, Apple is in a privacy fight with the FBI. Yeah, so there's a couple discussions here. First of all, I'm just going to give a brief understanding. It began when a federal judge in California ordered Apple to help the FBI access the work phone, an iPhone 5C, of Saeed Farouk, one of the two shooters in the ISIS-inspired San Bernardino attack last year, and that left 14 people dead. So this guy is a total asshat, and he was destructive and rude and did bad things and killed people. And as far as I'm concerned, all of your human rights should be taken away if you do stupid stuff like that. So I don't understand why Apple wouldn't do it, because you want to find out what the who's this guy contacting? What other jerks out there are involved in this? But go ahead.
Well, I've actually just stumbled on something as well, rereading this now as opposed to earlier, but I thought this was his personal phone. This was his work phone, which, in my opinion, changes things even further, because I was originally looking at this from a personal standpoint. Now, I absolutely agree that the information on this phone, especially a personal phone, should be looked at as, if we can find information and find out where this came from, and where the contacts are and where ideas like this start, then it would become one step easier to get, ahead of it. And if you can get ahead of it, if you can learn and you can adapt, then you can intelligently work against something. However, it being a work phone now actually raises a couple other things, meaning, Apple might be hesitant to unlock it as it's not just his privacy anymore. It's now the privacy of anyone in that company that he's worked with. It would be now company secrets that he could have on that, which would now be unlocked, and then government knowledge, and then public knowledge whenever that comes available later on. But even still, it starts what could be a slippery slope between, if they're going to unlock it for him, who else are they going to unlock it for? What is the classification of what they can do? When does the boundary between what the NSA was doing and what the FBI can access, when does that blur too far? But you had a good point saying, isn't there someone that can just do this anyway? And most likely, yes. And I believe the gentleman that started one of the antivirus companies, I can't remember it right now. Oddly enough, the one that I believe was also in trouble a couple of years ago for killing his neighbor, maybe, allegedly.
That was the McAfee guy, I think.
McAfee, thank you, has come out and said, "Hey, I'll unlock it for you." And so there's potential for unlocking it, but I'd be really curious to know, how this started, because part of me also thinks that maybe Apple said no to the FBI to begin with, without a huge amount of context. And then instead of the FBI coming back and saying, hey, this is what we want you to do, they decided to maybe go to the media, because how did the media get a hold of it? If, because Apple wouldn't, ideally, imagining from a corporate standpoint, Apple probably wouldn't release something like this because it would make them potentially look bad. They're helping a terrorist.
On that point, it's interesting because another quote from the article is, but according to Fusion, an Apple executive revealed in a conference call with reporters that the backdoor being requested could theoretically work on all iPhones. The fact that surprised even some cryptologists. So what they're saying is that if they do this, all of a sudden, boom, there's this miracle thing for anybody to access anybody's iPhone. Now, got to keep in mind, the security systems on iPhones is pretty good. If you try and crack their 4-digit PIN too many times, it'll lock the phone. If you do it more so, it'll actually wipe the phone clean. So what they're trying to do is avoid making mistakes and wiping this valuable information, but rather go to somebody who can guarantee that they can get this information back. Apparently, though, there's already 15 requests by the FBI to hack other phones. So who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah. And an iPhone usually has all the information backed up to the cloud anyway, so they just really need to get in touch with the people that had the whole Fapgate thing a couple years ago with all the iCloud naked pictures, and just get them on it, and probably work. Just tell them they're hacking for naked pictures.
Or, just hire Felicity from Arrow.
Oh, there you go.
She's good at hacking anything. She can get in anything, any computer. She can change the streetlights.
There you go.
Okay, so what's this SpaceX stuff here, Phil?
Well, I'm a big fan of space.
Me too.
It's big, and there are stars. But there we go. Nice, you got a hat.
That's how I roll.
So SpaceX is a company that is a private space company, and they have been trying for the last little bit to successfully land a first stage rocket, basically. So what they're going to do is they've been launching satellites into orbit. And usually what happens when you launch a satellite is you have a ton amount of money goes into a booster rocket. That booster rocket puts the payload into orbit and then usually crashes down into the ocean somewhere with a very large cost associated to it because none of it's recoverable.
All one-time use.
One-time use, exactly. And so what they've been trying to do for the last little bit is launch a rocket, which then delivers a payload and safely comes back to Earth and lands so that it can be refurbished and reused.
And they've actually accomplished this.
They did. They accomplished this on land. They managed to successfully land the rocket on the ground, and they almost successfully landed the rocket on a barge. Now, I say almost successfully because when they landed it on the barge, it successfully landed, but one of the legs apparently didn't engage properly. And so the leg collapsed, and the entire rocket, after successfully landing, very slowly fell over and then very dramatically exploded. And so their launch was set for tonight at 7 o'clock. However, the weather window is not favorable, and so it is set for tomorrow at, I believe, 7 o'clock, 6:50-ish as well. So it'll be really interesting to see tomorrow if they're going to make it, partly because they're also attaining a higher altitude than they previously had. And now, you might have heard that I believe it was Dragon X is their thing, or is that a different one? Might be a different company, Dragon. But there's another company that had successfully landed a rocket as well. But it's important to note that the other company that successfully landed their rocket did it at a much shorter launch. It was not nearly as high. It wasn't a full orbit. It was to a shallow orbit, to an almost outside of the atmosphere. So it's going to be really interesting to see. Now, the guy that owns SpaceX is the same guy that owns Tesla and started Twitter. Is an interesting gentleman to begin with in his own right, and so I'm very curious to see what him and his team, Elon Musk, there we go, will be able to accomplish with this.
Elon Musk is the current Tesla of the day.
Yes.
Like, he is the guy that's saying he wants to create free energy for everybody. He wants to make vehicles self-sufficient. He wants to make the world a better place, and he's got the money. He's like Robert Downey in Iron Man. I mean, this guy is...
He might have a suit that he flies around in.
I think he probably does. He look good in it, too. He's a good-looking dude.
Because he was saying his goal is, I think, in 2 years to have the entire Tesla fleet self-driving. Because they already have the auto-drive feature, which no one knows how to use properly. And it isn't a far leap to have something like that field tested and then moved to self-driving. In theory, they could drive themselves now. But the biggest issue with a self-driving car is every car that's not self-driving.
Yeah.
Self-driving cars are predictable. People are not.
That's for sure. And just like, Shelley driving home from Barrie in the middle of a winter night, I trust her driving. She's never had a problem driving. It's all the other idiots around her, you got to worry out for. So it's absolutely true.
They're doing this as they're driving.
Oh my God! What is?
Can't wait. How much ever time it takes you to get home.
And here I am saying this, and Nabby's driving home right now.
Yeah, but she's on hands-free.
Actually, I'm at home making myself a nice snack now.
Nice. There you go. Good to hear. Good to hear.
She's just been muted as she makes her snack.
Yes.
Her snack.
You don't need to hear the microwave going, so muted time.
Awesome. So actually, Tom says something about you there, Phil. He says your bookcase looks much better tonight.
Yes, I'm working on it. I have a couple of new ideas. I think I might actually paint the back of it to be white so we can see things a little better, because black cameras and black background not the best. But I'm working on it. We're gonna have some changes to it coming up, especially when I fix this chair so it actually can stay at the height I want instead of slowly decreasing over time.
Devin and I were just admiring that green, cute little typewriter of yours.
Oh, thank you.
Might have to go swipe it.
The typewriter liberation front coming for you.
I think so.
Okay, so now we're getting to the end of the show here. Oh yeah, Andrew says, or worse, driving and taking photos with your DSLR at the same time. Yeah, people do that all the time. Or people who drive Tesla wants to drive and drive with excitement. Hell, you need to pay $200,000 for the P85D. Well,
To be fair, though, that is a beautiful car. And they are coming out with their $35,000 car, which will be slightly more in Canada, probably closer to $40,000. However, it will have all of the same incentives applied that their more expensive car has. So you'll be able to get a car for about the same price as the Nissan Leaf, but you won't be buying a Nissan Leaf.
You'll be buying a pretty awesome Tesla, which I've always wanted. I'm just so excited about the future right now, in a lot of ways, but not. So upcoming sessions, we've got some cool stuff coming up from Daytripper Photo. First of all, as we've mentioned already, this coming Sunday night from about 7 to 10 p.m., there is the Fire on Ice spin-off. Now, this is the third time we've done it. There's a little incentive I'm giving to each person who is spinning. I put them away right now, but I've got cool little free things, let's just say that. Cool little free things to give away to each person who is spinning. Can't wait. And then there's so many other cool things that we're going to be doing. We're doing the burning steel wool. We're talking about composition. There's still going to be some lesson plan involved. It's only $40 for people who want to shoot and free for spinners, but as I said, we're all full up for spinners. And also, there's a session that Navi and I have been working on, the masterclass session on portraiture. Navi.
Yeah.
This is on April the 16th we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But we're still working out some details on the session. So
Yes.
Can't wait to see what comes of that. The masterclass, by the way, is where you're getting a lot more hands-on shooting, you're getting a lot more in-depth knowledge, and there's not anybody that I can think of that does a better job at that than our own Navi New. So
Essentially, I think I'm going to try to compress what I teach in 12 weeks in a day.
Oh! So super
Pretty
easy
awesome.
to digest.
Yes, yes. Your mind will explode afterwards. And I will collect
Perfect.
your camera gear.
That's how Daytripper stays running. We'll give it to Joseph. He can sell it on Kijiji. Also, April 24th is our spring Algonquin Park session. I cannot wait. Again, I love the Algonquin session. We've done them so many times now, and I know that people say, well, you've done it so many times. Why do you keep doing it? It's Algonquin. Why wouldn't we keep doing it? How bad can it be? Waking up nice and early, getting in a bus, driving 3 hours, having a 3-hour photography class the entire time you're driving out there. We get there right on time to stop off at Tim Hortons and have some coffee and a break, and then we head right out and we go into Algonquin Park and we hopefully see moose and we check out some waterfalls and we teach how to shoot the stuff, and it's just awesome. Sigma lenses, the whole thing.
There's also always new people who haven't been on the trip, right? I've actually just pimped you out all day today in my class, and their eyes kind of lit up because there's not so many portrait photographers in the class, but a lot of people are interested in wildlife and landscape. So I was kind of telling them about your Algonquin trip, and they actually woke up from their nap because apparently the rest of my class was boring. I'm joking. Only one of them did that. But yeah, so you might get some. Well, these guys are like landscape people. They don't care to talk to, people and do portraits, but that's what the class was on today. So you might get some new additions to the Daytripper photo community tonight.
That'd be great. Thanks, Navi. That's very cool. Yeah. And that's absolutely true. I mean, every time we do it, we have new people. But then again, a lot of the same people will re-register for the Algonquin trip because there's always something different that we see. There's been some trips where we haven't seen moose, and some trips where we've seen multiple moose, and then fox, and really cool different wildlife. We've seen the mises. Yeah. We've even seen monks.
Yeah.
That was super cool.
That was really cool.
With the orange robes, and my foot was all busted up, and I couldn't leave the vehicle. You remember that, don't you?
I'm working on that right now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You've got. There you go.
There we go.
I wish. Oh man, to this day I'm upset that I didn't get on that.
What was that?
This is we did an Algonquin session where it was about 2 weeks after I had a high sprain with 2.5 torn ligaments in my right ankle, and I couldn't walk around. So I basically stayed in the bus the whole time, the van, I guess it was. But Phil was helping out, and he and I believe Darren was there. Took the folks out into the trails, and I think Gabriel was there too. And
could have been.
Yeah, it's such a long time ago, but all of a sudden this busload of monks show up wearing their bright orange robes, and they go out to the water and they were meditating on their stones and that.
So
of course, so random.
It was pretty
so
cool. Especially because it was rather cold and they were in like flip flops.
That's something you see in Asia, not in Northern Ontario.
Yeah.
Well,
they were
we were
really
lucky.
nice. They went out to get pizza afterwards, and the pizza guy was like, "Hey, what do you want?" And he was like, "Well, make me one with everything."
Ah.
So bad.
Yeah, so bad. Anyway, so you never know what's going to happen on an Algonquin session, and that is April 24th. And this is the one that I think a lot of people look forward to. This is the Birds of Prey. On May 15th, we have our next Birds of Prey session. Now, here's where it's different, and this is going to be interesting for Phil because it's kind of out your way. We're going to the falconry, the Ontario Falconry Centre in Bowmanville to do this.
Okay.
So we're going to be on his own turf. We're not going to have him come to us this time. Now, We've done this many times where he's come to us. We do this at Shepherd's Bush in Aurora, and it went really well. The problem is there was a lot of other native birds in the area. So crows were dive bombing us. There were other hawks in the air that were not too fond of the owls and the eagles and so on that he brings. So just to make it a more enjoyable experience and to have a longer area for flight and to be able to shoot more and get a more natural environment, we're going there. So that's going to be a blast, and that is on the 15th of May. Check it out, daytripperphoto.com. You can see right along the bottom right here, daytripperphoto.com, and that's where all of these sessions are going to be posted. And, of course, the May 29th wedding session, which was phenomenal last year. Absolutely phenomenal last year. And they've tweaked it a little bit this year. So, Navi, do you know right off the top of your head what's going to be a little bit different about this session? Navi is left the building. Oh,
cutting up some cucumbers.
Cucumbers.
It's going to be warm.
That's a plus.
That's a plus. But we'll be able to go outside. I think will be sort of a highlight because it really changes the dynamic of the photo. You get to use natural light. It's just going to give you a different sort of look because you can shoot wider, kind of get a really cool wide shot with negative space where you can't really do that inside because, well, you're confined.
Exactly. Yeah, so that's going to be a huge asset. And they're even inside the place we're going to be. This is the Gibson Center for the Arts. It's a community center per se, but it's just, when we went there to check it out, it was just beautiful. Eh, Navi?
Yes.
The woodwork. No, you're not muted.
Okay. Yeah, it's a really, really great space. I think when we essentially saw the photos, we're like, yep, this will be the spot.
Yeah, we literally went there the same day we saw the photos, had to walk around, and said, yes, here we are. This is much better.
The nice thing, too, is that, it's going to be easier to drive into versus driving into downtown Toronto, paying for parking and all that stuff. So it is north, but it's going to be much easier to access.
So it'll be warmer. It'll be easier to get to.
Free parking.
Be a nice long day, free parking, and lunch included, and it's just going to be awesome. There'll be bride and groom. In fact, for those who were on our portrait session that we did earlier with Phil, the One Light Infinite Possibilities session, not with Phil, sorry, with Gabriel, the model we had, Adriana, is going to be our bride, and her boyfriend is going to be the groom. So it'll be
nice.
Beautiful couple.
You get some chemistry there, too.
There'll be chemistry. Absolutely. And hopefully the guy won't steal the shirt that we rented, because that
happened last time?
Yeah, the guy stole the shirt.
Yeah, it was misplaced. Don't really know if he stole it or not.
Yeah, you're so politically correct. That's fair enough. Okay, anyway, the current challenge, just to remind everybody that we have ongoing right now for our photo challenge, is sharp. There have been a lot of really cool submissions. Just to name a couple, Don Hennessy posted one today. Awesome, beautiful photo. Mark Moore, I still can't look at the picture he posted because it's like...
It's a little intense.
A dart right to the eyeball. So really cool stuff. I love the interpretations. People are thinking outside the box a little bit, and that's what we're hoping for. It doesn't just have to be, something that's like sharp like a razor blade, which is fine as well.
Oh, there's a picture of that.
It could be, yeah, there's a picture of that. There's, it could be Sharp Dressed Man, ZZ Top. That's, again, the first thing I think of. Just get the beard and have a guitar and just do like a mock Sharp Dressed Man. So many different things you can do with the theme, sharp, and continue to bring your photos in because we have another week left in the photo challenge. Can't wait to see what you guys have to do. And keep in mind as well, April 13th is going to be when we announce the winner of the quarterly prize. So if you don't remember, first place gets 6 points, second place gets 4 points, third place gets 2 points, and everything else, like an honorable mention, gets 1 point. And the person with the highest points by April 13th wins the quarterly prize, and this prize is a $350 Daytripper Photo gift certificate that's good toward any single session you want to register for. So it could be the wedding session, it could be the overnight session in September where we're on a private island in North Bay, it could be the Sundays session. Well, it can't be Sundays because we're not going to give it away by then, but it could be any session. But it's for one session up to $350. Awesome gift, and I really hope everybody contributes to this challenge. A lot of fun.
I would be using it for your island session. Well, I'll already be at the wedding session, so. The island session sounds amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know. Thank you for saying that. This is going to be an all night long in the middle of nowhere in literally a dark sky area, and it's going to be a private island. We're going to be doing as much as we could possibly do. Hopefully, we'll see Aurora Borealis. If we do, cool. If not, and there's a bright moon, we'll see the moon shots, and of course, if there's no moon, which I haven't really checked yet, but it's a perfect day to do this, then we'll do star trails, and we'll do all that. Otherwise, we're doing the steel wool, we're doing the light painting, possibly even other stuff. But if I told you, I'd have to kill you, so let's move along. anything else to add to any of these sessions, guys?
Actually, I have a question about that. Do you have an idea of when you'll release information about it?
Mm-hmm.
About that session, actually, it should be any time. We have all the factual stuff. I have all the numbers down. I have everything. I've actually got a few people who've already registered.
Nice.
But I actually know I should probably get that up and out tonight.
And the bonus thing is s'mores.
S'mores are good.
Which you'll eat one of and then have a whole box of graham crackers afterwards, but just that one is good,
Stale graham crackers and the marshmallows that get kind of crusty and stick together.
Yeah.
Good times, good times. And we will absolutely have s'mores on the Saturday night. Actually, there's more to it than just the overnight
There's
stuff, because
s'mores
we're going
to it.
There's s'mores. Nice one.
I'll let myself out.
Actually, we're going to get out there as early as possible on Saturday, so we'll have all day Saturday to shoot and do day trips, and then we'll also be leaving late on Sunday, so we'll have all day Sunday to do day trips as well. So it's 2 full days of photography, a full evening on a private island, so you can leave your camera out all night long and not have to worry about people stealing your gear. Awesome. The problem with this session, though, is there's only 9 beds. So if you want to sleep in a bed, you've got to register immediately for this session, because they will probably go pretty quickly. But if you want to bring a tent, instead of $500 for the overnight entire experience in a bed and the whole thing, it's only $250, and you can pitch a tent out on the. They have 1 acre of land on this island,
Nice.
so that would be absolutely okay as well. Robert, you're in already. You don't get s'mores.
Why not?
S'mores are for everybody else. No, I'm just joking.
Oh.
Of course you get s'mores. More s'mores for everybody. That's going to be the clincher, right? Everybody's going to say, I wasn't going to do it. Oh, s'mores.
S'mores, exactly.
And think about all the light painting opportunities, too.
Yes.
I know.
Star
And
trails and the
there's a
exact-
pier. There's a second island not far away, so we'd even be able to go to the second island and do the spinning there and shoot it from the other land. So there's so many really cool things that we're going to be able to do there. Can't wait. Can't wait. All right, well, I think that's pretty much it for the show tonight. What do you think, Phil?
I think we pretty much covered everything, and then some.
I say so. It's
And
been
we
a
had a
little
special guest, which is always nice.
so awesome having you back on the show, Navi.
Thanks for having me, guys. I'm usually home by 11. I missed the show, but it was nice getting out early today.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Hopefully your snack was going good.
Yeah.
Cucumbers, light eater.
Mm.
I'm going to finish the show and go downstairs and have something really fattening. No, Robert, it's okay. You can have s'mores. Don't worry. Okay, so we like to end the shows usually with a quote. And I believe Phil put the quote in for the show today. So, Phil, why don't you do the honors and read the show-ending quote of the day?
So the quote today is, I object to violence, because when it appears to do good, the good is only temporary. The evil it does is permanent. Mahatma Gandhi.
Beautiful quote. Also reminds me of The Arrow.
Okay.
You're obsessed with that show right now.
I'm watching it far too much. Like, I'm literally streaming this show to me as often as possible. I'm so hooked on this show.
So are you going to be Arrow for SNL shoot? Is that the plan?
100%.
SNL shoot.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Navi-
We get Phil into this, too.
Oh, well, we should. Well, I still think Phil should be a Dexter in anything he does. But
Yeah, he's grown out of that. He's a grown man now.
Maybe.
Maybe. Yeah, I agree.
all right, Tom. Good night to you as well. Thank you for watching, and good night to everybody who's watched tonight and been a part of the show. Phil, Navi, what are you owing?
Henry says really cool socks.
Oh, jeez, you bought
I'd recommend
those?
getting some.
On a side note, Phil likes wearing Henry socks. There we go.
They're actually super comfortable and very breathable. So I have those ones and then the darker
Camera
color,
clothes.
the black ones. They're really nice. And they
What
go
was
with
that?
the suit very well.
What'd you say, Navi?
Oh, I was just saying, Devin was asking what's on them. I'm like, they're camera socks.
Yeah.
They're
Oh,
cute.
yes.
Yeah.
There's different varieties. It's for actually there's a lot of really cool novelty gifts we have now. Little pinhole cameras you can make and fun stuff. All right, thank you everybody for watching. It's been a great week. It's been a great show. I look forward to seeing all the photos submitted for the photo challenge Sharp,
Absolutely.
which we will go over next week. And that's it. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.